This podcast is brought to you by Stevie Wicks and by the Goosebumps Crew podcast.
Excuse me. Yeah.
I'm being recorded. I didn't consent to this.
Oh,
I feel like it's stealing my soul.
Oh my god.
Tim Burton was right.
Tim
I
Burton was
consented to
right.
this.
I love that. Tim Burton was right.
I'm feeling paler and frothier and more depressed.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So, hello everybody, and welcome to today's podcast episode. And this is a very special one because it's my birthday.
yeah.
Happy birthday.
We apologize in advance.
Yeah,
said-
we're the problem. You got me and Jake.
You
We're
are.
the
We're
problem.
we're
Yeah.
the problem.
Taylor Swift. The
I knew I made a mistake as soon as I invited you and Jake.
We
You-
really
you-
did. I mean,
you-
this
you-
one's
you
on
knew-
you.
You knew what this was.
Because ironically, people are going to see this episode after the first one we recorded.
Yeah.
If there were any doubt that Justin and I were the problem, that was supposed to be like a 15-minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an hour and a half.
It's an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
I think more than half of that episode is just me and Jake.
So you guys heard we're gonna talk about Hocus Pocus 2.
Wait, I was
Uh.
told we were talking about one as well.
One as well. I meant
Okay.
two as not in two. Oh,
Oh, also
also two as in also.
the Royal too.
The
Dude,
royal,
Royal
two.
too.
And I
Hey, I
it's nice because it's Haley's birthday. So everything she say, I'm gonna say yes because it's your birthday.
probably not gonna like what I have to say about Hocus Pocus too.
Never mind.
The
I'm not gonna
fact
say
that
anything.
the fact that it is number 2.
Oh, I have a
actually
whole.
didn't totally hate it.
I came prepared. I came prepared for that. For Hocus Pocus 2. But
You're
we'll
gonna throw your iPhone at it.
I'm gonna write a scathing review.
This is garbage. 1 star.
It's not that bad. Come
I
on.
look. I don't have I mean, I don't have a healthy nostalgia, a real strong nostalgia for the first movie. I will say, having watched it, I respect the fuck out of it. I will say that.
Yeah.
Really? You respect the fuck out of it that
Because
much?
I don't respect
because-
it at all.
But not the second one, but the first one, because the
Oh.
opening scene, they kill a kid. They kill a kid. Like any kids
Oh,
movie
the
that's
first
willing
one.
to be
Yeah, I
like,
respect
yeah.
the first one way more than I respect the
any
second
movie
one.
that's like we're willing to kill a kid. Let's kill a kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Good for it.
See, to me, it seems that I have a bit of a unique perspective as someone who I didn't see Hocus Pocus until my late 20s.
Mm.
I didn't
Oh,
grow up
interesting.
with it. I had never seen it. So I'm watching it as an adult, and I can say it's a cute, good little movie. Like it doesn't try to outscale itself. It knows what it is in the best way
Exactly.
possible. And it does what it sets out to do. It entertains, is a nice little heartwarming story at the end without getting too weird. Although I will say, as watching it as an adult the first time, the running gag about him being a virgin and people acknowledging
so
it,
weird. Like
it's so funny though.
there's that weird, very weird scene where he runs into the guy dressed as a cop, and he's like, "Yeah, the virgin lit the candle," and he looks at him and he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Dude, he's like 15. What's wrong with you?" Like, of course he's with.
I don't know why. I don't know why if they remade it, I just imagine Shane Gillis as the guy dressed as a cop, and after he says that, he just goes, "Nice."
I
So-
gotta tell you guys, I watched it when Haley told me that. I'd never seen it before.
Mhm.
Oh, you've never seen it?
You've
Oh,
never seen
interesting.
Hocus Pocus?
No. I mean, before you told me about this show, this podcast that we're gonna have, because as you might know, yeah, I don't even have idea that existed. I think it's a lot of American culture over there. Like
Oh.
when it was released, the first one.
It's like
93.
93.
I was going to say
93.
early 90s.
93.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1993.
Probably cable wasn't established in 93 in Latin America and less in Europe. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, was this a theatrical movie?
No,
the
this was a
theaters?
Disney Channel movie, was it not?
Movie.
Yeah. Okay, then
was-
then that makes sense. I
was.
wasn't sure
And
if the
then-
original.
See,
And
that's
you know-
another impressive thing about it though, is for just it's essentially a TV movie. Granted, it's a Disney TV movie, but
Yeah.
I mean, for a TV movie in 1993, it holds up surprisingly well.
I respected it for how dark it was. Like I was impressed by its, which will counterpoint my thoughts on the second one. But I thought it was I was surprised by, especially considering it was only Haley's gonna maybe appreciate this, a Kenny Ortega joint. I was not expecting to see his name at the top of this. He did the High School Musical movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Which,
Is
I
that-
mean,
that tracks.
that's why he was great for Hocus Pocus, but then Hocus Pocus 2, okay. I will get into my notes. Is why Hocus Pocus 2 is complete and utter fucking garbage.
Fucking garbage.
Oh, go
my
on.
Yes.
You seen the F word already?
Yes.
It's your
It's her
birthday.
birthday. Shh.
It's my yeah.
It's her fucking birthday.
If I want you. If I want
It's a nostalgia trap.
Curse if I
Oh.
want.
Last time I heard about Hocus Pocus is when Balena, the band, make a cover last Halloween. That was a year ago. They make a cover of the first one. Hush Little Baby, I think is the name of the song that they cover. And that's when I actually knew about Hocus Pocus for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because what I
Interesting.
was doing in 1993. Probably I was just touring already. So
I was gonna say you would have been on tour, I believe, but
it was probably
Anyway.
my third tour? No, like my first tour, maybe, right? 1993. Yeah, something. Let's not talk about my age again.
I don't know. I don't want to do math right now. Haley, please tear this movie a new one.
Okay. The way I just said okay. I got too excited about that. Number one, it's a nostalgia trap. Okay.
Yes. Oh,
Okay,
absolutely.
the original Hocus Pocus hold like a very special place in people's hearts, okay, and we all know that. So it relies too much, like the second movie just relied too heavily on it being a sequel, and
The Top Gun Maverick, this was not.
No.
no, this was
No.
not.
Break.
It definitely goes down a checklist of being like, and now they're doing the big musical now. Oh, despite the fact that they weren't overly musical characters in the first movie, they now like do big musical numbers every chance they get. They're also weirdly stupid in the second one, like just like to a degree that they weren't in the first one. Like they're just really much dumber characters.
Did I see spoiler alert, I haven't watched Hocus Pocus 2. Am I losing it, or did I see a gag where they have one of the witches riding a Roomba,
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
absolutely a joke in the second one. Yes.
Mary.
Yeah.
which is just a callback gag updating it to her riding a vacuum cleaner
Yes.
Yeah.
in the first one, which
Right.
in the first one was funny. The Roomba, yeah, it's funny because I have seen the trailer and it was some time ago. So, okay, I'm not crazy. I remember seeing that gag and I remember just being like, really?
I think that tried to grab whatever they could from the first one and make
Yep.
it work
Yeah.
in a bad like
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Which brings me to my second point: is it lacks originality, and that's how.
I don't necessarily. Okay, there's certain characters where I'm like, you don't need to know their backstory. I don't need to know their backstory, and the Sanderson sisters are kind of that. But the backstory, the giving them a tragic, sad backstory stuff completely conflicts with they show up in when they show up as adult versions of them, and they're the silly, goofy versions, caricatured versions of them that you saw in the first movie, but like they look off because they obviously all look older. Like Bette Midler now looks like the version of her she did at the beginning of the first movie, before they kill the kid. Like that's what she looks like now.
you just love when they kill the kid, right? That's your thing.
Because it's a Disney movie.
Oh, so they can kill parents, but kids are off limits.
The
That
kids are
came
off
out
limits.
differently. That came out differently than I thought it was going to.
Oh my god! Came out.
I'm not saying that's
Wrong.
not.
Hang on. There has to be a Disney movie where they killed the kid,
Uh,
other than this one.
let me
Usually
see.
they come back to life at the end. Typically.
Oh, they didn't
No,
kill
it was funny. I was about to read. Oh, they did, and then I remembered. Oh, that's not a Disney movie. That's a Don Bluth film, and that definitely explains why they killed the kid.
Which one?
The first one I came to mind was Rockadoodle, but he comes back to life.
Yes, he does come back to life. They usually
The
come back
kid
to
does
life.
die though.
She doesn't come back to life. Her brother gets turned into a cat, and you get to see a cat get brutally killed in the first movie.
Yeah,
No,
but
I was talking about
Are
Rockadoodle.
we talking about the same movie?
but the cat also comes back to life essentially because it gets run over by the car and then it like
It
I
blows out like a balloon.
I forgot about that. Damn
and it reanimates. It's like so weird. It like you can see it like slowly rise.
Oh, that's right, because he's cursed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So in a way, though, him finally dying in the end is kind of like cool.
Good thing.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They like the kid gets sad. He's like, no. This is what
He's
he
like,
wants. He's
no,
been eternally
I've
trapped as a
been-
cat for.
gonna say I've been a cat for like 300 years. No, we're good.
I don't want to
I
be your
have
house
thumbs
cat.
again.
Yeah,
I have
pretty
those
much.
again.
I got
but
thumbs again.
he at the end he turns back into a human, but like a ghost because he's dead. He's been dead for 300 years. So
Yeah.
and he's finally reunited with Emily, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
goes
You
off
feel
and
about Beth Miller, Haley?
She sings one song in the original one. I saw a review that said that.
But before I make a bad comment, because it's her birthday, how you feel about her, Haley? Do you like her?
about who?
What's the name of the actress again?
Bette Midler.
Bette. I love Bette Midler. I think
It's
Bette
amazing.
Midler. She.
I'm saying it's her birthday. It's amazing. I can't stand the bitch. Sorry, I can't stand her.
Fuck
her-
you. Fuck you.
He's gonna Swayze here again.
Sorry, it's her
I don't
birthday.
I don't have strong feelings about Bette Midler.
I love Bette Midler.
It's
Other
her-
I
than it
loved
was
her in Hello Dolly, and I love her now.
You know, I love her voice, but the way she looks is just weird for me. I don't know why. I think it's totally a craziness on my part. I totally get it.
And I
But-
love her as Georgette in Oliver Company too.
Yeah, like I said, her
That's Bette
talent,
Midler.
her talent is like not just sure, but her the way that she talks, it's like sometimes she's like,
Did you not know that was Bette Midler? You didn't know that?
no,
What?
no.
That was Bette Midler. Yep.
And now that you say that, I'm like, oh yeah, I hear it now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Once you hear the voice, then you know it is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
So-
just impressed they managed to find a girl with her overbite to play the young version of her in the second one. That was impressive. Like, wow, that actually looks like her.
Well, hey, if you get that part, I mean, I'm sure somebody's willing to break their jaw to make that part happen.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'll be in the Disney movie.
Exactly. Be like, hey, does Mike Tyson live around here?
Hey, listen. Hey, listen.
They're gonna put you in a Disney movie? Okay.
Okay, listen.
Oh my gosh.
I always wanted to be in it. Wow, that lapsed into Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
not Mike Tyson. That's wrong, Michael. But no. So Haley, could you do me a favor? Seeing as I
Yes.
haven't seen the movie, can you give me a brief? Is that Aliens or Contra?
It's alien. It's amazing.
It just
I'm
looks like a ripoff of Contra.
It does sure look like a ripoff of Contra.
Game in this thing is a rip of Contra or Street Fighter. Every game. I love
Ah, gotcha. So, but anyway, can I be given a brief plot synopsis of Hocus Pocus 2? Because I have not seen it.
There's more Hocus Pocus, that much I can tell you.
Oh, we're full of
Um,
TikTok in this thing, aren't we?
It's fantastic. Just keep going, keep going. I'm loving it.
So basically, Hocus Pocus 2 is, there's a young girl. She lights the candle. The witches come back. There's a whole stupid song about how they're coming back called "The Witches Are Back."
One important thing to note is the new girl and her
Oh,
two best friends. They are also witches. So
Yes.
they have been socially ostracized because they're weird and they collect
Yes.
rocks and they do spells. And the
Yeah.
one friend, they have had
But I don't
Yeah.
think that if I remember correctly, I don't think that they know that they're witches until like the middle of the movie or something.
No, but they like they do like the spells and like
Yeah.
the spiritual stuff, and they are friends, or they visit a magic shop owned by this guy who he's like a stage magician who like his job is to basically to recap you
Yep.
from the first movie. It's effectively what he does. He has a whole scene where he just says the plot, the events of the first movie over again, in case you forgot them. And he gives them a candle that they basically do this like ritual every year on their birthday, and they light it, and that's the new version of the black candle, which then
Yep.
brings them back.
So basically
That's the inciting
the
incident
first
in a
movie.
nutshell.
Yeah. So basically the first movie.
So who's their
Kind of.
cat?
They don't have a cat. Well,
They don't
their
have a
cat
cat.
is I guess their cat would be the guy who owns the magic shop, because he's the whole thing is he's a big fanboy of the Sanderson sisters, and he tries to be like, no, he literally has a line. There's like literally a line in this movie where he says, no, they're not evil, they're just misunderstood.
You know,
And
like
then-
most child murderers are.
Right,
Yeah,
like most
and-
people who
and-
kill kids. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then there's like this weird
And eat
part
them.
where
Who eats kids?
right.
Right.
And then there's this weird part where like the guy that owns the shop like ends up doing all three of the witches' bidding, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But and then he changes sides at the end, but he never explained how or when. He just out of nowhere is like, I'm on your side now. Like, what?
Oh God, this sounds horrible. I'm very
It
glad I
is
didn't
horrible.
watch
There's
it.
no plot hole. There's a lot of plot holes, and I'm like,
Like, if you'll allow me, I have a small rant. This isn't directed only at Disney, but primarily at Disney, because I don't understand why, and why they don't understand that this is why, generally speaking, their movies aren't as
Yeah.
loved as they once were, because all the villains are being given the Maleficent treatment. Don't get me wrong, a complex villain with complex motivations can be interesting when it's done well, but making every single villain a gray villain and not, a black and white villain, especially with movies like Hocus Pocus,
yeah.
the witches can't be redeemable characters. It doesn't,
Well,
the story doesn't work then.
Well,
That's the thing, is they're not in this movie, because they are for the first like 10 minutes of it, where they have a 15-20 minute backstory sequence where you get to see them as children, where it says she's 16, but I swear she doesn't look 16. About how she was supposed to get married and she didn't want to, and that's why they got kicked out of the town and all that sort of stuff. But then it hard cuts to later in the movie, and they're just like they were in the first movie.
right, exactly.
So it doesn't
And
work. Only to end with they have this big emotional scene where, do you care? Can I spoil the ending of the movie?
Please.
I was about to talk about the end of the movie. Actually, I was gonna bring that up.
The ending is horrid.
Oh, it's horrible. She goes into this like old like soap opera spiel of like, oh, my sisters, I'm nothing without my sisters, without my coven, and I'm like, shut up.
Basically, early on in the movie, they set up that there's this super powerful spell that will make a witch all powerful. But the book, which is it was sentient in the first one, I'm pretty sure it's sentient in this as well, doesn't want them to do, because something bad will happen.
Yeah.
And in order to do this spell, you have to sacrifice the thing that you love. And so they're like cartoonishly evil. They're doing all the evil stuff, all the badness that they do in the first movie. And then they go to cast this spell, and it makes the other two witches disappear. But like they have like this, like, I don't know how else to describe it, but like and not Endgame, the end
It sounds like a Soul Stone ripoff, honestly.
Soulstone, yeah. Well, the end of Infinity War. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to go. That it's like that, where they have a very prolonged moment of being like, "Oh, I don't want to leave you. Say goodbye to me, sister." And then Winnie has this big emotional speech
about like, I'm nothing without my coven, and I'm
Where she,
nothing
like-
without my sisters.
where she
Oh,
like
wait,
cries.
Hold a second. You're saying that it's a ripoff from that movie? What movie was first?
Technically,
What
Avengers
is
came first.
happening?
What?
What is happening? You're like,
Apparently, he's in like the spin cycle.
are you in a gyroscope?
Let me explain you what happened.
It's on.
So I got this perfect thing that I bought, to be able to do podcasting while I'm driving. That is attached.
I'm-
It goes to my wheel. The phone goes to my wheel. Every time
Yeah.
I run the wheel, it's like that. It's fun.
I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but I will say the footage, if you got into a car accident, would be legitimately hilarious.
Oh no, yeah, great. Thank you for wishing me that.
I'm-
Rascal.
I just
I'm
said I
just-
didn't want it to happen, but I'm just imagining like it's kind of like the people that wear GoPros and on their bikes and have wrecks.
Thank you
I'm
for
just-
your wishes.
I just love how I'm trying to make a point and I'm just over like I pan over. I like look over because Byron's is right next to me and like I look over and he's just
So he's for the TikTok generation. He's that extra footage that's on the side.
Yeah, he's Subway Surfers.
I play video games now. I'm driving. Then I'm gonna start skating
oh god.
and surfing. Meanwhile, you guys keep doing the podcast.
Oh my god, I'm like
It'll get
crying.
it'll get a million views.
Oh my
Oh.
god, I'm crying. Oh,
So yeah, I was thinking as you were giving me the plot, the synopsis of the ending, I literally came up with 4 other, ironically, Disney movies that this movie clearly just ripped off. They ripped off the whole Soul Stone thing, and then I lost them because I'm old and my memory's not. Who are you?
Who are you? Where am I? What movies were we talking about again? Hocus Pocus 2. Yeah, no, the ending was
How
very good.
old are you?
It goes for like a weird emotional ending that's hilariously unearned. That's how I would describe it. Like hysterically unearned. Like this is too schmaltzy for this movie.
no. Like
And obviously because you got to do the things you did in the first one. It obviously has a big dance number where they dance in front of an audience, but now because it's got to be bigger, it's got choreography this time. So there's a kind of a funny sequence of like this like flash mob, like zombies like flash mobbing down the street. That's kind
So
of
they
funny.
rip off Thriller too. Nice.
A little bit. Yeah. Hey,
little
look, I won't say it's not derivative.
I mean I do appreciate them bringing Billy back. They brought Billy back.
yeah. He's
Billy, remind me who Billy is. Is Billy the zombie?
The
he's a
zombie.
zombie. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Winifred's ex-lover.
That's right. Okay, because I was trying to remember. I was like, I know he's part of the backstory, but I just couldn't remember. But yeah,
Winifred's ex-lover.
that character should not be as funny as he is. But in the first one, he's just delightful.
Oh, I love him in the first one.
He's super fun.
Him in the second one is a little still really good, but you know
He's there because he was in the first one. That's
Does the zombie somehow look older in the second one?
Not really, no.
Not really. That's good. That's good.
But there is a funny bit where the magic didn't wear off, so he's just been in his grave for like he's like what year is it? How long has it been since 1993?
Hey guys, are you ready for the spin?
21 years.
Are you ready?
31 years. Sorry.
Here we go for the spin. Woo. All right. That's for my.
Oh God, it's been 31 years. It's been 31 years. 31 years.
Yeah.
And for the ancestor, it's been 331 years.
That makes sense because I was 3 years old when that movie
And
came
his
out.
ex is still calling him.
Yeah.
Right?
I think a restraining order is well deserved.
Well, the implication is that the magic never wore off. He's just been waiting for like and so yeah, I heard that they were gonna make a third one. I don't know how. I don't understand. The first one definitely sets up for a sequel. Like it definitely sets up for a sequel. But
Well,
this one
hopefully it's Hocus Pocus. Hopefully it's Hocus Pocus Part 3. We'll do it right this time.
Or maybe they do like Hocus Pocus the beginning, and they just do something like a
They do a
maybe,
prequel.
yeah.
I'm just jumping all over here, but like, let's just talk about the ending real quick. Let's talk about that. When I can't remember because it's not Binks in the second one.
No, they don't have a Binks. They don't have a.
I can't remember what the
Well,
cat's name is, but
That was their
like,
first mistake.
It was it's just pretty much a normal cat.
yeah,
It's
the cat,
regular cat.
jumps down on on the boxes to get down, and in the one box it says like Black Candle 3 or something like that,
Mm.
Oh.
and I'm
But-
just like,
But the whole
Why?
thing with the end of this one is they're dead. I mean, dead, but like they get blood disintegrated, blown up.
Well,
But
see what they're going to do in the next one, right? Stay with me. Somebody is going to use Pym particles to go back in time and not prevent it from happening, but they're going to get the original candle to resummon the ones from the past in the future before they were summoned in the first movie. And
Yep.
then the plot is they have to go back and make sure that the first one happens so that the events of 3 can happen. It will have not, or so that it will not have had happened.
So they're ripping off Back to the Future, basically.
Well, no, they're ripping
that-
off Endgame,
that
which
was
ripped
his-
off Back to the Future.
that was Endgame he described.
And get yeah.
I can't hear a word you're
I
saying.
can't hear a word
Oh,
you
yeah.
say.
Myself, I said that. Hold a second, because I wrote that 25 years ago.
Oh.
If somebody's
That's
ripping
right.
somebody,
That's right.
they're ripping it off. They're ripping off Time Warper. So
There is a fair bit of time travel in that one.
I mean, hey, look, isn't Hollywood always ripping off Hollywood? Really, at the end of the day,
I mean, to a point, and as a proponent of somebody who, Justin, did you ever listen? Speaking of Back to the Future, did you ever listen to that proposed Back to the Future Part 4 that I sent you ages ago?
no. Oh, maybe I did. I don't know. My brain's so like saturated with stuff.
If you had, you would. After listening to that, I was a purist of like, don't ever touch Back to the Future. But if they can make that movie, I want Back to the Future Part 4.
Over Bob Gale's dead cold hands.
You know what? Listen to that video, and you'll agree with me. If they make that, I want Back to the Future Part 4.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. This is a genre of movie that Jordan refers to as the way too late sequel.
Yeah,
that's what I feel a Back to the Future 4 would be. It's just a way too late
No,
sequel.
I'm telling you.
telling you the truth, Justin. If they do exactly that, it will be fantastic.
Because
Now,
it's so good. It's so good.
and they're saying that they're not gonna make it because the negotiation with Michael J. Fox is a little shaky lately.
Speaking of Back to the Future, speaking of Back to the Future, I just got news like 2 days ago that Back to the Future on Broadway is not on Broadway anymore in January.
That's disappointing.
Oh, that's a bummer.
They
I
set
hear that's good.
their closing date for January.
I hear that musical's good.
I heard it was very good.
Yeah.
Have not
That's
seen
not a
it.
problem.
Need to.
It's got pass. I do it again, right?
I was just gonna
If
make
they
that
get
joke
canceled,
too.
they go back, do another tour. Every time they get canceled,
Hey,
they come
Doc, if they close the show, we won't have paychecks. Great Scott.
back. You guys know that because I was messing with you. I totally passed
I
off
love
my
that
mother.
they're doing the tour though. I want to see the
That's
tour.
awesome. Now I want to see it.
I
I'm
would
tw-
like to see it.
I'm 23 minutes behind picking up my mom because I was having fun with you guys.
Well, we didn't tell you to get in
Who
the
would you tell
gyroscope
you
and
to
ride
do
around.
that?
It's fine. So what time is it? I don't even know.
Got into
No,
the
no, I'm fine. I'm 7 minutes behind. I'm good.
Yeah, it's-
Look at this.
when I was
Woo!
doing this, I feel the need. I took a lot. I like to apologize to Sarah Jessica Parker's mole. I made a lot of jokes about you over the years. They weren't fair. They weren't nice. They were rude. You know.
Did you know or there used to be? I don't know. Actually, I'm going to check that real quick.
Very
So that
much
I
in
can
this
tell
movie,
you.
by the way.
Please tell me either one of you guys knew that she was married to Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did not know that.
So fun fact, the website still exists. Sarah Jessica Parker looks like a horse.com is a real website.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still around. I'm kind of surprised it's still around. I figure
Yeah.
something like this wouldn't stand the test of time. I feel like some of these are unfair. Some of them are fair, but
You know what? Jessica Parker had a good run when she was doing Sex and the City, but now she's too skinny, bro, and she's like, she doesn't look good.
Hey,
That's the reality.
we used to make when Sex and the City was in the theater. Yeah, I used to make a lot of. I used to make fun of her mole. We'd walk into the theater and I do that bit from Austin Powers where I just be like mole.
Mole, 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 mole.
Mole. We're not supposed to talk about the
Guys,
mole, but it's up
Texas
there on the big
has
screen.
Sex and the City's been 20 years now. How old is Parker? 63 now? So
Really?
I'm gonna look, yeah, think about it. The thing I was having this conversation with my mom the other day because we were watching the new movie from Brad Pitt and George Clooney. And she said, well, he gotta be like 70. I say, no, mom. We watched him when he was 30 in From Dawn Till Dusk, and we saw Brad Pitt when he was 19. So he's been around for so many years that we assume they're younger or older, right?
Yeah.
But Sarah Jessica
Probably
Parker,
younger.
boom, that she's young, but she's not. She's like super old.
Huh.
Super.
Super old.
My favorite running mole gag is the one from Robin Hood Men in Tights, where Prince John's mole keeps moving. And then at some point, at one point they acknowledge it. Yeah, at one point the sheriff acknowledges it wasn't your mole on the other side.
And he actually moved.
I have.
Right?
No, he doesn't move it. He just goes, I have a mole.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's a really fun movie. Mel Brooks, man, I'm telling you, he was amazing in the 80s. The new show is really awesomely bad, but the old ones the movies were good.
Hey, anybody who can make Springtime for Hitler a thing. I should clarify that statement very quickly for those who don't know.
As a musical.
Springtime for Hitler is a hilarious musical number from the Broadway show and movie The Producers. And it's the centerpiece musical number of the play that they're trying to make so bad that they basically flop at, their box office and collect the insurance money from.
He's allowed to do
the
it
song's
because
hilarious.
He's Jewish.
Halloween box opening. Spicy pumpkin. Witch's brew. Halloween themed pop-out wax tarts. Jack-o'-lantern spicy pumpkin candle. Dragon's blood. Happy Halloween.
Listen, here it's legit. This is my pitch. This is my elevator pitch. So much like Back to the Future Part 3 begins where Back to the Future Part 2 ends immediately, right after the witches disintegrate, Wanda shows up.
No.
Come on. It can branch franchises. Or make it Agatha. Yeah, since it's a Disney Channel movie, it can't be Wanda. Make it Agatha.
Have Agatha show up and sing a little song.
Guys, humor. Imagine that somebody right now, Disney call and say, you guys have an hour to give us not the pitch. Tell me the story. What is going to be the storyline for the
you want me to
third
pitch
part?
it?
Are we being funny or are we being serious?
That's part of the discussion that I really think that people will love. I think that it got to be dark, but with a dark humor, that have the specific jokes, not to make it a drama, but it still got to be dark.
Okay, my first question is the girl from the original, not the one that was eaten. The main character, is she in the second part at all?
No.
We've got to decide that right now.
Well, no, that's okay. So she's not. Well, that's your third one.
First of all,
she hears about the shenanigans happening in the part 2.
None of the original cast except for the witches.
So actually your part 3 could be a case of bookending the series into a trilogy and also rectifying the mistakes of the second one.
How much budget do we have? Because you got a lot of budget. You can make everyone look young and perfect, and from the original cast.
This is where you and I differ, my friend. I don't care what the budget is. I'm all about saving money and doing things practically. So you bring back the original girl because she hears about all this and she's like, if there's one more candle, there's got to be more, and that's her.
Wait. What is the name of the character of the main witch?
Well, the candle, the candle exists in the second one because the guy makes it because he's being told what to do by the book.
So the oldest one is Winifred, and then it goes Sarah, and then I think it goes Mary.
Other way. Sarah's the
Why
youngest.
we don't go back?
Okay.
Back from before she borns. Like back.
Well, because they already told that story.
I know
in the second one. So my answer to this is sort of twofold, because of the second one, my question would be, am I approaching this from the perspective that the second one was successful and everybody liked it?
No, I would say you'd have to go with the real world reception.
Yeah.
Because the
Because
obvious answer is
you gotta JJ Abrams this thing.
because
Post Last Jedi.
Bette Midler's not getting any younger. Same with the other. Like, the one thing about this is like they're very much visibly older looking. So you can only do it so much with them. And you have these three young actresses.
Harrison Ford is the new Hulk. Who cares about their age?
He's
Well,
the new Grey
What I
Hulk.
don't understand is how do they look? How are they gonna do another? How did they do the second one when they look older? Like,
That's kind of a big thing. So just from like, I would be like, oh, I've got the three actresses who play them as young girls. Have them like they all do passable imitations of the actual actresses. Do a prequel that takes place before the first one, but after that little opening bit.
That's what
No, I got it. And
Like-
this raises stakes. This raises the stakes, right? Like I said, the original. What's the original girl's name? I'm gonna feel stupid referring to as the original girl all the time.
I forget her name, and I just watched it this week.
Allison. Wait.
Okay,
wait,
we're
the
gonna
little
run
girl,
third
the
part.
little girl, or the
No,
love
no,
interest?
the first main character.
Oh, the first
Well,
main.
there's- The first main character is technically a guy. It's technically
Yeah,
the brother.
Max. Max.
No,
is
no,
the
no.
Max.
The first girl. The first girl.
The love
Danny?
interest. Because there's technically two girls. There's the little girl, which is his sister, and then there's his love interest.
And the little girl's name is Danny.
Oh, Matt. I'm sorry, Max. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about Max.
Yeah,
Max and Danny.
Danny,
Max and Danny both hear about this chicanery happening. So they go to the town to investigate. They find the dude who's making these candles and they got to stop him. But what they don't know is he's made several more. So
Mhm.
now you can really have fun with this and you can play with different versions of them, including
Mhm.
the original cast members and the young imitators. And you can have fun. Basically, you get to have a fun little multiverse story, which is very much in vogue in Disney right now. So they'd probably eat this up. But your main villains are the three younger ones. Because, like you said, or actually probably a team up between the three younger ones and the original cast. But this would have to be it because, like you said, the original's not getting any younger.
Yeah, well, okay. The thing we did kind of forget to sort of mention about the ending of this one is it ends with the girl from this one. She's now new Winifred, for lack of a better. So she has the
okay.
book. Like the book
Well,
basically.
she's
Just
teaming up with them.
I'm a little confused. You lost me a little bit. When you mean this one, you're meaning the second part or the one that we're writing?
This was the second part. So the second part ends with the three witches are dead, and the new girl and her two friends, they're now the new like Sanford sisters or whatever. They had the book is now loyal to them. So the book changes allegiances like towards the end of the movie. So now the book is no longer loyal to the original witches. So I don't know if that
okay.
impacts.
But if we go to a prequel of the prequel, if you will, right? We can see. I know that we have the story, but like really develop the story before they born the witches. Because if he's changing his alliance, then the book he can change his alliance before. You know what I mean? And
Well, again, in the second one, they introduce there's a and she never comes back, but they have like a mentor figure who just kind of gives them the book and is like, well, bye, and then never comes back. So I guess theoretically she could be a bad guy.
the story,
the
story of the prequel is the story how we get the book, and the end of that is when he gives the books to the new one.
Well,
But
the
to
second
me-
one,
but-
find out how they get the book.
But to me, that's not going to do well because that just reeks of young Indiana Jones.
It does.
It's
I'm
not
I'm
Indiana Jones.
I'm talking to see. My brain goes two ways. My brain always, me and Jordan always have these conversations of there's the what I want, and then there's me thinking as a Disney executive and what they would actually make, right? Like what are they gonna make? They're gonna put the new hot young actress playing hot like young Winifred, Winifred out there. They're gonna put her out there, or are they gonna try to make Bette Midler do this for a third time?
So I got a question. When
Till
you say,
she's 90.
She's
When you
90.
say-
That's what I'm saying.
when
Till
you
she's
say
95.
when you say young hot actor, are you talking about Jordan?
Well, we could put Jordan in a red wig.
You're
can
not
tell.
from Missouri?
You can't see him, but he's vigorously shaking his head no. Like
Come on, you
off
can do it
camera.
all. You're
Come on,
the
she doesn't have to be from the South. She can be from Boston.
the man of the million voices.
Technically, they are from Boston. They're from Salem.
I was gonna say they're from Massachusetts. So yeah, you don't have to do a Southern accent. Just go Boston. Say
You're
water and shit.
voiceless, the man with the 1,000 faces. You should do it.
Boston. I will say I committed to a Boston accent for a show once. Don't do it. It's a difficult accent to maintain. Boston. From Boston. Salem, Massachusetts.
A normal American accent, and you want me to do a Boston accent? Shut up.
Yeah. My Canadian accent.
So no, my argument would be in the creative team was some sort of not necessarily a team up, but you have to include the original cast and the new versions. But if the new coven are like the main villains established, or at least they have the allegiance of the book, then they're your main villains in in part 3.
Right.
What's odd is the second one feels like it's two different scripts mashed together. Like it was part of it was like a second Hocus Pocus script that sat on a shelf that was like the these are nuanced characters and they have a backstory, and then there's the stuff with the new girl. They're just two completely, because it feels like they wanted that blonde witch. She like because there's an element of the second one where it's the girls and the witches team up that goes nowhere. That you're right, feels like that was originally the intention, and then it changed midstream. Like I can always spot script changes, and that's just what it felt like. That's when no, they need to be like what they were in the original movie, so people will recognize the thing.
Well, and here's another thing I don't like about Hocus Pocus 2, and there's a lot of things I don't like about Hocus Pocus 2. It feels too campy. Way more campy than the first one.
It's campier than the first one.
Yeah.
It's trying. I think the first one doesn't try. It just ends up being campy.
Yeah.
Fair.
The second one, it's one of those experiences where it's trying to do that, and it's the same thing with all of the actresses, like Sarah Jessica Parker. I know I keep ragging on her, but
okay, hold a second. You white America, white Canada. What the hell is campy?
Campy?
Yeah.
How do you describe campy?
I never heard that terminology in movies at all.
Think 1960s Batman.
Yeah, silly.
Oh, like
It's on its face silly, but everybody's playing it straight. Nobody's winking at the camera, and it just comes off as really goofy and silly. But campy is in like campy's not necessarily bad, although it usually is. But
it can be enjoyable. Like you can have something that's campy, and you're like, oh, this is so silly. Like, man, I can't. What's a really good campy? Like The Room. Have you ever seen The Room?
I don't know that I call it campy, but
come on, that's not campy. That's a nightmare for everything. The Room is really bad, bro. Come on.
I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe because my love of like unintentionally not trying to be silly, things that are silly. When things try to be silly, it doesn't work for me. But when it's not,
why? That's The Room. He killed himself and reborn to keep saying why. Come on.
no wrong.
And I feel Hocus Pocus 2 is exactly that. It was trying too hard, and I just don't like that.
Good camp is when the concept is silly. Okay, Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect example. So the first one is good campy, where the concept is silly, but everyone's playing it 100% straight. Like everybody's Leslie Nielsening it. Everybody's Leslie Nielsening it.
Yeah.
And that's why those movies are funny, is because he's playing it totally straight, and so is everybody around him. And even if they acknowledge the absurdity, it's still in character. Like, oh, this guy's weird, but the situation is not for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're trying to be silly, and everybody, I don't remember who said this. I want to say it was Jim Cornette, but I could be wrong. But anyway, he said something to the effect of, I'm paraphrasing, that if you have to turn and wink at the camera, it means that you know it's silly, and now the audience does too.
Exactly. And the thing about Bette Midler in particular, in that first one is her character almost feels like it's like, what if like a Broadway diva, Barbara Streisand style actress were a witch, and it's just that's the persona she's playing. Whereas the second one, she's trying to be that. Whereas the first one, she just is that.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's more effective.
And for
guess
like
is how I
another
would put it.
example, and for like another example too, I'm going back to the scene where like her sisters are like her sisters are disappearing, and she's like freaking out and all that crap, and then she tried too hard. I think Bette Midler tried too hard
Well,
to
that
be
scene's
upset.
from an entirely separate movie, because that
Yeah.
scene is paying off emotional payoff that these characters haven't earned. They haven't earned it.
So,
They're not.
so basically, what you're saying is it's like the episode of Star Trek Mud's Women,
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
where
I
the
just
ending is paying off scenes that never happened in the episode.
pretty much. I'm just trying to think of like it's like yeah, if like Lex Luthor had if Lex Luthor had was in a Superman movie. This is not a great analogy, but if in a Superman movie, Lex Luthor had a best friend who died, and Lex Luthor like held him lovingly in his arms as he slowly died, you'd be like, this feels really unearned. Like Lex Luthor, it's that kind of emotional payoff where you're like,
But after several decades of Lex Luthor being the epitome of human scum.
pretty
Hey,
much
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing
yeah,
with
yeah.
this, yeah.
One of my heroes, and leave me alone. He actually is inspired on Donald Trump. So don't fucking mess
No,
with
he's not.
Yes, it is.
The character Lex Luthor predates Donald Trump.
No, but the adaptation that they did when
Oh, the adaptation. Yeah.
Oh,
Lex
the
it was
Gene
based.
Hackman. Yeah, I could see that.
No, I'm talking about the comic book like a few years ago.
I also could see that. I mean, there's a reason
Lex
he's a real
Luthor.
estate guy.
Now Lex is a technology. LexCorp is a technology firm. Yeah,
And yeah,
Did-
he's a president of the United States.
in
Well, he
some
was
incarnations.
in
Yeah,
some carnations, yeah, he is.
and
the
one of
one-
them he gets his head blown off
Yeah, I saw that one.
as president of the United States. So that was fun. Justice Lords unite. Anyway,
But yeah, that's
that
sort
took
of
a
what
turn.
the ending of that movie felt
Oh,
like.
so it's kind of
yeah.
like the end. It's kind of like the Martha scene in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Martha, yeah.
Martha.
It's called by the name of a mother.
save Martha.
Martha.
Winnie,
So Haley,
Sarah.
I have a question for you
Okay.
because
my
I saw.
haven't answered.
Oh no, you're the Disney expert, so you would know. Are they making a sequel to Freaky Friday?
Yes, they are. They absolutely are, yeah.
That's beautiful, but can
I
you
feel like
remind me
it's called
though?
Freakier Friday.
Called Freakier Friday, yeah.
Absolutely. Question though.
So finally it's gonna be porn because of the name. Sorry.
Wrong kind of movie. That took a turn. Anyway, I can't remember that movie, the original Freaky Friday, the Disney version, which was a remake, but the one with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis, that was theatrically released, correct? I'm not.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
that's what I
absolutely.
thought.
Yeah.
I seem to remember seeing it in theaters and being really off. Seeing Chad Michael Murray with long hair being very off-putting.
He's coming back for it.
He is, and I
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
Yep, he's coming back.
Yeah, this time it's I don't know if it's like she's with him, but the whole deal is it's like the granddaughter, so that's like a three-way switch or something.
I
It's a
have
three-way-
my reservations about this
Again,
movie.
it's a porn movie. Freaky Friday in a three-way.
No,
I
no.
have reservations about this movie, but I'm gonna save it for when I do an episode about Freaky Friday and Freaky Friday.
Sure.
Oh,
Sure
sweet.
sounds like
Because
a-
I actually on a fluke rewatched it, and I'm the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, this movie's quite good. Like,
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
watched it for the show, and I was like,
You
it's
got
good.
posters of the movie in your bedroom, Jake. You just watch it. You're a fan. You got
you
pictures.
clearly have never seen my bathroom. I don't have room for posters in my bathroom.
Yeah, you can try to Kyrie one. Your room is a replica of her room. We know that you're a Freaky Fighter fan, dude. So don't. We'll know.
I mean, I'm not ashamed that I like that movie. Jamie Lee Curtis kills it,
I-
but to me,
I like that
Lindsay
movie.
Lohan is underappreciated in that movie because yes, Jamie Lee Curtis kills it,
Yeah.
but how old was Lindsay Lohan when that movie came out? Like,
15, 16, something like that.
okay, so not
16.
even not
Yeah.
even 20. As a 16-year-old actress is playing a stressed
Jamie
out
Lee Cur-
adult.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
I
It's well done.
Her personal life messed her career because talent-wise, she's always been really.
Yeah.
Hey,
talented.
we've all seen Mean Girls.
And the scene of like when Jamie
At
Lee
least I think we
Curtis,
have.
I've seen Mean Girls. I love Mean Girls, and I still
Justin, have you
need
seen
to.
Mean Girls?
Of course,
Oh
I've
my
seen Mean
God.
Girls.
That reminds
Okay,
me. Oh,
just making
oh my,
sure.
that reminds me. Justin, we still need to do that episode.
Yeah, we have to do it. We were gonna talk about the Mean Girls musical. I've seen. Yeah, I grew up on Mean
Oh,
Girls. I'm like the exact age range for that movie.
Okay, so you have to do this. In the movie, they wear pink on Wednesdays, right?
Yes.
Well, your episodes come out on Wednesdays, so you
Yeah.
guys have to wear pink for that episode.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
That
I'm
was
gonna have
my
to get-
plan. That
I'm
was
gonna have to
my
get some pink.
idea.
Oh, well,
That's
great
pink.
minds
I
think
can
somewhat alike.
just in dress in pink.
I don't own anything.
Nobody said
pink,
Nobody
but,
said he had to wear a dress.
Don't tell anyone, but you live in a first world country and it's called go shopping.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go pick up something pink. We
You
have
can
pink. We have pink shirt day here in Canada. So.
And funny enough is when Mean Girls had the tour and it came to my city and I got merch and it says on Wednesdays we wear pink and it's pink.
Oh, you know
That's
what? I think
awesome.
I've seen that shirt in a social media post
Yeah.
from you. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. I had a question.
I
lost it, but
like the movie better than I think. I like the musical better than the original movie. Ooh, that might be blasphemy.
Well, keep talking like that, and there's a bus in your future. But no, I'm legitimately excited for the new Freaky Friday, and I was gonna make a point, and I lost it. But Chad Michael. So Chad Michael Murray, I think, is on the verge. Prediction time. I'm gonna say this now. I think Chad Michael Murray is on the cusp of a career resurgence
I can
because he's doing media again, which is
Yeah.
a little uncharacteristic for him as of late. And like you said, he's coming back for the new Freaky Friday. But I found out about it because he did a podcast apparently with who's the comedian? His name's Burton. His whole thing is he's shirtless during his act. I can never remember his last name.
Oh, Bert Kreischer?
Yes. Okay. So Chad's on a podcast with him, and Chad's making a very good point here because he was like, I challenge you to name me one person in entertainment who has gone on a constantly up trajectory their entire career. It was like, and no plateaus, no nothing. He was like, I can name one, and I forget who he names, but he names somebody. Oh, Paul McCartney. He says Paul McCartney, and then Bert turns around and says Britney Spears. And Chad loses his shit.
Have you seen Crossroads? See, the fact that you knew what I was talking about.
Oh no, I've seen Crossroads. I absolutely have seen Crossroads.
That movie did.
This is
it was
oh
horrible.
my God, this is a movie that tried to be 8 Mile before 8 Mile was a thing and fails horribly.
Yeah, my grandmother made me watch it. It was awful.
You guys know that Freaky Friday is actually a remake, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
6.
But very much like Lindsay Lohan has done
So
this
was the
twice.
Parent Trap.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lindsay Lohan has done 2 remakes of Disney films and made the remakes significantly better.
You know what Jordan's pitched? He wants Lindsay Lohan to do The Parent Trap, but she's the mom.
Oh, maybe, yeah. See, the thing
mom.
is, I think she deserves a career resurgence too, and I think they're gearing up for that with this Freakier Friday. So I think she and Chad are due, because Chad is due, I think, because he's been acting the whole time. I don't know if you guys were fans of the show, but I always kind of see Chad Michael Murray's peak as around the time he was doing movies like Cinderella Story and when he was on One Tree Hill.
Yeah, a little bit.
So like early to mid 2000s, like basically 02 to 08, not even 08, probably 02 to 05.
That's why I know him.
Yeah. So that's. But actually, I should ask: are either of you fans of One Tree Hill? Have you even seen it?
I've never
by name, never watched
Haley,
it. No.
you'll actually like it. It's a fantastic show. It's actually it's one of my favorite TV shows ever made. If you're a nerd about what's that?
What is the name again?
You know, Max, we've talked about it before. One Tree Hill.
Oh yeah. It just got out for a second.
that's the thing, is that's that era where I know the OC and I know One Tree Hill, and that's like they were kind of interchangeable to me.
But the thing is, if you, fun fact, if you're like a cinematography nerd, which I know you are, Justin, you would appreciate One Tree Hill for a variety of things. Their director of photography is a genius. I modeled quite a bit of my visual styling after his work. I like how he uses color. I like how he. There are several episodes where the camera movement is integral to the plot, and I love it. It's great stuff, especially for a teen drama TV series that has no
Yeah.
business being that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Well, I
anyway,
mean,
I digress.
it gets lost in the shuffle with OC, I think. The OC.
Big time. Well, the OC influenced it a lot because there's actually a great podcast which is partial inspiration for the Final Frontier. It's Hillary Burton, Sophia Bush, and Bethany Joy Lenz doing a watch along with One Tree Hill.
Mhm.
And they flat out say in the first season that, like, yeah, the show was going a different direction, and then the OC came on the scene and they were like, sex this thing up.
Yeah. You
And
could tell.
Sophia Bush is like, that's when they were putting me in bras every 3 episodes.
You
So
could
she's
tell.
like, thanks, OC. But at the same time, our ratings went through the roof. So
Most shows from the mid 2000s were like, sex this thing up.
I wanted to say, and when we should film is the Mean Girls episode. We should film it on October 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should film on October 3rd.
Then I could be like, it's October 3rd. I saw so many
Today
memes and
is
I'm like,
October. I should ask. Oh no, I'll ask you what day it is, and then you'll be like, it's October 3rd.
October 3rd.
You
I
had
saw so
done it.
many.
if you had done it last year, it would have fallen on a Wednesday.
I know.
Oh, what did it actually have? Oh, that's hilarious.
I know. I thought about that, and I was like, oh man.
That's so funny. Yeah, I quite like that musical. I like Mean Girls. It's
I
one
need
of the
to
few
see
things I
that.
actually like from Tina Fey. I did not like the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Okay, so another
How
fellow
dare
Tina Fey
you.
hater.
How dare you? I
Her-
loved it.
Her characters are unrealistically stupid. Like in a
I
way
agree.
that humans don't behave that way, and it makes the show unrealistic and hard to follow. Like,
I'm
all of
with
her
you, dude.
characters
I've
are
never.
comedically
I
stupid.
think that was the intention, Justin, that it gotta be a little Fantasia
Yeah.
involved.
Is that the arcade Simpsons game?
Yeah.
It sure is.
No, you want to
That's,
see better than anything? Let me put it here so all the people can see what I'm watching.
Speaking of the Simpsons,
Oh
The
yeah.
Michael Jackson Moonwalker one.
I watched
Oh,
20 Treehouse of Horror specials. You want to know what season that show gets bad? By the way, it's about season 20.
Hey, that's not bad.
Did
That's
you
not
know
a bad
that
run.
the Simpsons is ending?
Look what
It's not.
I
What
Not
is that?
Dragon
like-
Ball Z.
I saw
Well, I know
somewhere
which
that
one.
said that it was ending.
Oh, you probably saw that they aired a series finale. They did not air a series finale. They aired a parody of series finales that ends with everything going back to status quo. It was in fact not
Okay.
even a season finale. It was their season premiere. They came out, and then everyone
Okay.
wrote a bunch of clickbait articles that were like, "Oh, the Simpsons did their series finale," and then you actually watch it and know it. They're doing two more seasons.
Okay, that explains it. Because I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem like that
The
would ever
Simpsons-
end.
The Simpsons technically has already had 3 series finales.
Like that show doesn't seem like it's gonna ever end.
It will end when half the cast dies. That's when it'll end.
Oh no, not with AI.
Have you heard Marge? She sounds sad. It's I think I described it
sounds
on our show as
sad.
like going to a person's house with a really old dog.
Yeah,
Bad.
to do that voice for that long, yeah, I can.
It's pretty brutal. There's
I'm kind of surprised she can still talk.
Did I imagine this? Or have they done like a Hocus Pocus episode? I feel like I
Oh yeah,
imagined
yeah,
it.
they did. They technically, well, it's sort of. One of the specials, it was they had witches, so kind of.
If you see something that you want me to play, just let me know.
I already asked you
Um,
what was the Dragon Ball game because it looks like it looks like a mod.
The Dragon
mod.
Ball Z 2 Super Battle.
Oh no, that's a real game.
I would say that's a real game.
That's actually a real game.
No, I keep going on looking for the Dragon Balls.
It's funny you guys were talking about Sweeney Todd when I came in, because I was telling Jordan the the point where the Treehouse of Horror specials get bad is number 20, the 20th one, which half of it is a parody of Sweeney Todd, but it's bad. Like it's none of the music sounds like Sweeney Todd. Like
Mm.
none of it is parodies of songs from Sweeney Todd, and none of it
Mhm.
even sounds like Sondheim. And
Mhm.
it's Mo basically Sweeney Todd, and he drops Homer into this machine, which like hooks him into this machine that sucks out Homer's blood, which then he feeds to Marge so he can seduce her into having sex with him. And it's Marge and most of the songs is just Marge and Mo singing, and they're the most abrasive sounding characters vocally, so all of the songs sound bad. It was
Maybe it's making fun
horrid.
of Johnny Depp. I don't know.
But Johnny Depp sounds good in that movie.
I was gonna say no. I'll
Uh,
clarify. I'm not saying he sounds bad, but it is a more it's a
Right.
rougher interpretation of the character, vocally
Oh,
speaking.
yeah.
Right.
Because yeah, that's a bit jarring if your first experience of Sweeney Todd is the Tim Burton movie, and then you see like the Broadway production, you're like,
Oh,
oh, this is
That's me.
way different.
That's what I did. Yeah, I watched the Johnny Depp version first, and then I watched the George Hearns version with Angela Lansbury, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't like
But
this."
see, to me, like the musical number Epiphany
Mm.
is much better in the Johnny Depp. It comes across
Oh my god!
way
Okay,
better.
I was concerned you were going to say it wasn't better in the Johnny Depp version. I was gonna be like, no, you're wrong. It is much better in the Johnny Depp version.
It comes
Yeah.
across way better in the Johnny Depp version, which is
Yes.
part of the problem I've always had. Well, not always had. It's part of the problem I've seen with some musicals is that scenes that are or musical numbers that have a lot of emotion that's not necessarily Broadway friendly.
Yeah.
At least, and I think this is changing, by the way, because Wicked's a good example of where this isn't the case. But vocally speaking, the music doesn't really match the tone in
So
some musical numbers.
speaking of Wicked, because that's Haley has
Coming
announced
up.
her whole slate of episodes. So I'm understanding this. The we're doing a Wicked episode, right?
Yes, we
And
are.
the bit of this is I'm the one who hasn't seen it. That's the bit.
The
Yes.
bit, I believe the bit is Haley will have seen. Well, Haley, have you read the book?
I haven't read the book yet.
Okay, but
I'm scared too.
you will have seen the Broadway show and the movie. I will have seen the Broadway show and read the book, and Justin will have had none of those things.
Cool. So my goal is going to be I'm gonna just be like I'm gonna take a wide swing at guessing the plot of of the story, and I want you to tell me how much I get right.
Ooh, best of luck to
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah,
I
totally different.
I know a few things. I have a very broad idea, but yes, if you want to hear me take a broad swing
The
at
bit-
guessing the plot of Wicked, that you can look
the
forward to
bit-
that.
The bit basically is let's Haley and Jake gang up on Justin because he's like not seen nothing.
I'm gonna go in knowing the one thing I know, which is that they sing "Defying Gravity" at the end of the first half. That's
I'm
it.
a non-believer. Actually, I think it's going to be at the end of the movie in this case
will be
because
at
it's
the
a
end.
two-parter.
I do want to
Yep.
see that movie, but on streaming, later
I
at
believe
home.
they've said that too. Like it's gonna end with Defying
Well,
Gravity.
if it's two parts, that's only logical to me.
yeah.
Which makes me laugh because, like I said, most people that's the song. I would say most mainstream people that's the song they probably know the most. Either that or Popular.
Yeah.
Popular went really viral there for a while, so I could see people being familiar with Popular.
Yeah, but
Boy.
much later. Well, no, I take that back. When it was on, I'd say Defying Gravity and Popular were the two most popular songs. And maybe As Long as You're Mine and No Good Deed Goes Unpunished, or No Good Deed, I think is the technical song name, were the other popular ones. And there's more, but they're not as
all
memorable.
from Glee. All from Glee. Like it all comes from Glee. That's how I know all of my stuff.
That's a good metric for popularity, though, of song.
And I know what you guys are thinking, like you're probably thinking, wait, well, why is she going to see it early? Like it's not out till the 27th. I had to make it work like that because the 27th is on a Wednesday, so I had to go see it the day before.
I mean, you got to get in that SEO. You want to get your.
You do. You do.
You want to know the benefit of good SEO, Haley? I will tell you the benefit of good SEO. We put out a Terrifier video, and it is our most successful terror video yet because we put it out the weekend that movie came out. Same thing with our Deadpool video. So like, never scoff or balk at good SEO.
No. Oh, fun fact about Deadpool, Justin, you'll appreciate this. Did any of you notice that on the official music video for NSYNC's Bye 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 on YouTube, when that movie came out, they changed the title to From Deadpool and Wolverine to the
yeah,
end
they-
of the song.
Yeah. I
Speaking
absolutely
of
saw
that,
It
this is a
confused me. I
perfect
was like,
segue
wait a
to-
minute.
Speaking of that, this is a perfect segue too, because on Dancing with the Stars they do like Disney night, and there was a Wolverine and Deadpool. And they did but they did that.
That's amazing.
I can't stress enough when I was in that theater watching that movie for the first time and the credits started, all of my fears were alleviated that this was going to be a bad movie. When those
Right?
credit sequences were rolling, I was like, okay, we're fine.
Wait,
This is
you
going
guys
to be
watch
great.
you guys watch Dancing with the Stars?
No, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, okay. So, Haley, you watch Dancing with the Stars?
I mean, I used to, and I stopped
Used to.
because of
I just-
Tyra Banks.
I used to watch that show when I was a kid with my mom, and I put it on, and Tom Bergeron wasn't hosting it, and that made me wonder, and I couldn't be bothered to actually put in a Google search. When did he stop hosting that show? Like
I don't
that,
know.
Years ago.
like
I
how long
love
ago?
the presenter Jules Holtz is like my dream girl.
Like 5-6 years ago, maybe, I think.
Was it sad when he left? Were people
It
sad to
was.
see him go?
It was even
Yeah.
sadder when Tyra Banks started for like
see-
it took over for him.
See, Max,
Isn't
the
it-
crotch shots are unnecessary, my friend.
What are you talking about?
You just keep punching that poor man in the
Why does
balls,
he?
and
Why
I'm
do you
just,
keep punching him in the dick?
why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
Because I know that it does not Alfonso Ribeiro host that show?
Yeah, and Jules
Yep.
Holtz. Hughes or
Yes,
that I know.
and
The
Yeah,
girl
you want
who
the upward.
Juliana
that
Juliana
woman really that woman can just call me and tell me, leave everything that you're doing. You're just gonna be
Oh, Julian
whatever.
Huff? Yeah, I would.
Julian
I
Huff,
would.
yep.
I'm with you. I would drop everything if she was. Yeah, she asked me to.
And
She-
then
The lead character in Rock of Ages and
Yeah, she
Grease
was.
too. And since that movie, I was like, oh my god.
She was in the remake of Footloose as well.
Yeah.
it's kind of funny and it's kind of cool because Derek Huff is a judge on that show.
Yeah, and that's,
Too.
her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I noticed that he
nut shot him and then you kill him. That's just
Um,
that's Mortal Kombat levels of disrespect.
you noticed Alfonso Ribeiro also took over America's Funniest Home Videos, your
Mhm.
country's most redundant television show.
Yep.
I don't even
Wow.
understand how that show's still a thing
That's
though
what
with
I
YouTube.
don't understand. Why? How did that show not go off the air the minute YouTube came into existence? The fact
They
that
are
it was
relying. They're relying on senior citizens. That's it. That's their
who
viewing
submits
audience.
to America's Funny? Do they still give out a cash prize? Like,
It's got to be significantly lower because they could just troll for YouTube videos at this
Right?
point.
right? I don't. But yeah, that's another one where Tom Bergeron stopped hosting that, and I was like, what happened to Tom Bergeron? Like he was like he used to host like Hollywood Stars, and he's a big
Mhm.
staple of my childhood.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, he's as much as I love Alfonso Ribeiro. Don't get me wrong. Who doesn't love Alfonso?
Can you
Ribeiro?
dance like him, Justin? Come on, do me the
Me? No, I cannot. I can.
try to do the French Prince of Bel-Air dance. Dum, 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 dum.
What's so
jokes
funny
on-
is he did that. He did that once.
Yeah, he did it. He
Joke's
was on
on-
the season he won. Yeah.
Yeah, joke's on you, Max. Piccolo doesn't have a penis.
No, I meant on Dancing with the Stars. He did that once for
He did.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
Yeah,
that
and
was
a
a season-
performance.
He's like
Yeah.
performance.
supposed to be playing with 6 buttons, and I'm playing it with 2.
And I
leave me-
thought it was so cool. I was like,
He promised the
Back
whole
to his
season that if he
roots.
made it to the finals, he would do it. And then yeah, it was I remember that. It was a really cool moment. It was saved in my YouTube favorites for eons.
mm.
I
I just thought, oh my god, he's doing it. He
Right.
remembers his roots.
he does. He does.
He like does it
Um,
all every 2 seconds everywhere.
Well, he fought it for the longest time, and then he really embraced it. He was one of those actors who's like, I don't want to be associated with Carlton for the rest of my career.
He
That
should have.
guys.
He should have learned from Leonard Nimoy. He was like, "I am not Spock," and then everybody was like, "Fine, fuck Leonard Nimoy." And then he was like,
Yeah,
"No, no,
pretty
no,
much.
wait, I'm Spock. I'm Spock."
Whoa. Actually, I watched Haley, I feel bad bringing this up because you're a big nostalgia person, but have you guys seen a movie called The Halloween Tree?
Never.
No.
No, oh, it's Ray Bradbury wrote it. It's based on a book he wrote. He narrates. He wrote the movie and he narrates it, and it's basically about a kid who he winds up, or a bunch of kids who are waiting for their friend who's gone for a appendectomy, and they're worried about him, and they run into like a scary looking creepy guy.
Mhm.
And it's basically a vehicle to learn about Halloween. But the scary looking creepy guy is played by Leonard Nimoy, and it does not
really?
sound anything like him. Yeah,
He actually
blew my
was
mind.
a very good actor.
It was. And we talk about it all the time on the Final Frontier.
Yeah. Oh, fun fact, Justin. Justin, you probably know this, but again, not a Disney movie, but The Page Master.
Oh, that movie used to scare the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah,
That movie
Leonard
scared the
Nimoy
shit out of me.
Leonard Nimoy voices Dr. Jekyll in that film.
Yeah, that scene used to scare the piss out of me. Where he turns into Doctor. Oh my god, it scared the crap out of me.
Who I'm fighting, Jake?
You're fighting your
So-
son. I know the joke, and stop beating it. Just speaking of Hocus Pocus, he's beating a child.
Beating a child.
It's too fast.
Yeah, I learned that this week. I respect when kids' movies are like proper. Like I watched. Have you guys seen
Yeah, they're-
Ernest Scared Stupid?
I've
You're familiar
heard
with
of
I have
it.
Ernest?
not.
Not. Oh man, maybe
I've not seen it, but I've heard of it.
So my son is
Um,
more powerful than me, Jake.
I mean,
Technically speaking.
technically, depending on what part of the show, technically,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, he's like
At this point, no.
really. He's like, go to your room. That's the only way I'm gonna win.
No, we're not with that haircut. No, Gohan is not stronger than you.
No,
Although
yeah,
he's
not at this
kicking
point.
your ass.
Yeah,
Oh, right in the face. Look at that.
he's super fast.
Yeah, the troll in Ernest Gets Scared Stupid. If you've never seen it, I encourage you to look it up. It is proper frightening.
So speaking of Hocus Pocus, we'll go back
Bring it
right
all
to
full
Hocus
Speaking of
circle.
Hocus
Pocus.
Pocus, well, Krillin is very into beating up children in the background
I
there.
like to point out that Max is also the problem this
Sorry,
time.
Hocus Pocus guy. Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, focus. Hocus Pocus, focus.
Focus,
in-
focus.
What do you mean
His
Max is a
birthday.
problem?
Listen, we got a Hocus Pocus here.
All three of us are the problem, Haley. I think we're
Yeah, I
collectively the
know,
problem.
and I realized I made a mistake by inviting all of you three.
Again, this
I
one's
mean-
on you.
Yeah,
First
you-
of all,
you knew it-
I've been the nicest guy today. I haven't said I
No,
like
you
that.
haven't.
You've been playing video games the whole time.
I'm
you-
being
Not the whole
nice.
time.
You're showing
I've
my
been here.
audience your screen, and I don't approve.
She doesn't
Aw.
approve of Dragon Ball Z. That's
Come
a
on,
different
Come on,
podcast.
kid.
And I
hit him.
almost feel like I'm gonna get demonetized for this.
No,
You
no. If
want
anything, you'll get.
Copywritten.
If anything, your views will be higher because the Gen Z will have something to watch while they listen to us.
Exactly. While they
Or
listen, yeah.
Copyright.
Doing
I'm
the
gonna get
birthday-
copyrighted or something.
You're gonna have thousands of views because of this.
Hey, I got a copyright strike, or I'm gonna get a copyright strike on my episode this week because I played some Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
Hey, Jake,
you
did you know that
and
there
you
was
did
a
it for
sequel?
me, and
did
I
it
have
for-
to say you did it for me, and I gotta say, terrible.
You're wrong. It's really good.
It's
I'm sorry.
terrible.
I respect you. I respect your opinion. You're wrong.
No, you don't.
It's her
But Jake-
birthday. What are you doing?
That's true. That is true. Because it's
Don't
your
lie.
birthday, I will pretend that you're not wrong.
You don't respect it. You lie.
So wait,
Jake, did
what
you know-
about?
Did you know that there's a Nightmare Before Christmas sequel?
I've never seen it. I've been made aware of it, but I cannot tell you what it is. I can't.
It's a video game for the PlayStation 2 called Nightmare Before Christmas Oogie Boogie's Revenge, and it brings back all the Nightmare on Elm Street. It brings back the original
That's
cast.
very different. Oh, the child's crying, man.
It brings back the original
Haley's
cast.
gonna
You got Ken Page. Danny Elfman comes back and does original music. Like it's got new songs. Danny Elfman. It doesn't have the original voice of Jack Skellington, but it's Danny Elfman as Jack Skellington. Catherine O'Hara's in it. Paul Rubens. Ken Page comes back.
I'm sorry, but you said you were actually gonna say Nightmare on Elm Street, and my mind instantly went to like, what if they did like a Nightmare Before Christmas on Elm Street?
Yeah, Freddy comes to Halloween Town, and they're like, "But we're not mean."
Somewhere there's a version of it where it's Jack Skellington and he's a murderer. I'm sure.
Oh, I mean, they
No.
made Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. I think Nightmare Before
Oh,
Christmas isn't
hey.
as big of a stretch.
Hey,
They
I've
just
heard the
made the
second one
second
is
one.
good. I've
The
heard
second
No,
one is
that's-
terrible.
That's your sequel. That's your sequel right there. Jack Skellington gets pissed that nobody liked his Christmas, so he just goes on a killing spree.
I will send you the kill. I will send you guys the kill count. It is stupid.
The second one, the first one's awful. It's bad, but I've heard the second one's good. I will say
It's
that
not.
there's a
I'm
Grinch
getting mad.
version of it.
I'm getting
Like,
mad now.
There's a Grinch like one where it's called the Mean One, and it's actually good. Like legit, it's actually good.
The mean one's
It's
good. I like that
The
one.
Mean One's really good. The Mean One is
The
David
Mean
Howard
One-
Thornton, the guy who plays Art
Yeah.
the Clown, as basically approximating a more psychotic version of Jim Carrey's of Jim Carrey's Grinch. And it's like they can't legally call it Whoville, so it's called Coolsville. And it's like they're not allowed to call him so they're not allowed to use any of the names from the Grinch. So it's all like vague. It's genuinely actually pretty funny.
Really?
It's
Is the Grinch not copyrighted yet?
I'm guessing it
No,
must
not
be.
the original. The original book was in what, the 1960s, so I don't think it'd be up yet.
I
Up yet?
think
No.
I know that the reason why they never made another live action Dr. Zeus movie is because the widow Zeus hated the Mike Myers version.
Well, I mean,
I mean, not to
fair.
be that, yeah, fair. But she was absolutely
That's-
enraged by it, so she denied them. She like canceled their like not copyright, but rights. She wouldn't let them have the rights.
But I mean, you might have liked Blood Knight. I did not like the second
Oh,
one. Like,
I cannot
they
speak to it. I
added
haven't seen it.
Owl and they added Tigger, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's right
like,
here.
why? No.
I can only say I thought that the first one was horrendous, and so I can only imagine that the second one is also probably horrendous. But Jake can probably attest, and Jordan, who is just off camera, will nod and agree that I like my shit weird and silly, and I'm bizarre.
This is true.
This
He's
is
not
better.
amazing.
This is
because
better.
this is
This is
because
better.
oh,
Is better. Disney. I'm trying.
like this is how I watch horror movies because I'm too chicken to like actually watch horror movies, so I watch kill counts to them.
Fair.
And so I watched the kill count to this movie, and I gotta say, and I literally shared it with my sister, and I texted her, and I literally said, I was like, this ruined my childhood. This is ruining my childhood again, and I don't know why.
It's the first one is very much a case of, so I mean, if you Google creepy Winnie the Pooh mask, it's the first mask that comes up.
Mm.
But it went public domain, and someone went, we can cash a quick buck. The second one has, by all accounts, more effort put into it, but I don't fully understand who these are for. I mean, they make shit tons of money. Like the first one made a shit ton of money.
It's morbid curiosity, man. It's the same reason people are gonna see the Screamboat Willie one, because it's like,
Mousetrap was stupid too.
like,
looks stupid.
Max, why is when Mickey killing these guys, why is he stripping them first?
I got no idea. As especially on Disney.
Because Mickey only cares about what's on the inside.
I'm just
Stop.
It's not my fault. He's taking their clothes off as he kills them. This is the stuff of like,
See,
this
my
is
thing with
weird
those-
horror movie.
you cannot divorce Minnie because she's been stupid. No, I said that I'm divorcing her because she's fucking goofy.
Fun fact, did you know that Mickey and Minnie are actually
I'm gonna
technically married?
lose so many subscribers now.
That's
Why? Everybody loves that joke. Come on.
that's a-
sorry.
I'm going
good
to
joke.
lose so many
Did you
subscribers.
guys know that Mickey and Minnie are actually canonically married? They actually are technically legally married.
When did they
Like,
get married?
Like when Walt Disney when interviewed, Walt Disney was there, he was asked about it, and he said that technically when they're off camera, they are
Yep.
legally married. But when they're
Well,
on camera, when they're working, they are not married.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
Like I mean like the characters, because he treated them as though they were like actors. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
The
Gotcha.
actors are actually married too.
but pretend
Oh
to be-
yeah, the actors who played them were married as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the actors
Oh, that's
are
cute.
married.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like how in Once Upon a Time, the actor and actress who played Snow White and Prince Charming actually got married after meeting
Oh,
on
did
the
they?
show.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that.
I think that's adorable.
here.
It's
And I
adorable.
talk about that in my podcast episode that I had about Once Upon a Time. So if you want to go look at that, go
I
look at
didn't
that.
actually know that. Actually, what's funny is about Once Upon a Time is the scientist Storybrooke, like when they first enter, in the first episode when she first drives past it, that was actually on my way to work for like years. So I'd be like, I'm on my way to Storybrooke every single day. Pretty funny.
So
And
which
I
of the
also
seven dwarfs would you have been?
Grumpy, probably.
I was gonna
I
say I'm
would-
getting some grumpy.
I would have been not
From the
very
show,
I was
Grumpy.
about to be mean. I was about to be mean, and I shut up.
grumpy. I'd be grumpy.
Any kind of
But like
idea
I was
how
about to be really mean, but I shut up.
Leroy, not the Disney one, like not the cartoon one, but like the one from the show specifically.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's not quite right. That one, yeah.
Who was dopey in the Once Upon a
I think
Time?
had Dopey in Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, they kind of glossed over it, if I remember correctly.
I've never finished that series. I watched it up until the second to last season where it had a perfect finale and then continued on for an additional 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And I've never watched it since.
Yeah.
So holy crap though, was it not just a beautiful gem of that random season where Henry hit puberty right in the middle of it?
Where he's in it, where they're like, oh, this is a perfect ending. Everyone's character
was
arc is ended logically.
hilarious.
Everyone is in a perfect happy place.
It was great.
And then the last 2 minutes of the episode happens, and it's like, but wait, there's more.
Well, no, I just mean the fact that like it would change scene by scene because Henry starts out quite young, and then he'd come in the next scene and just be like, "What are we gonna do in Storybrooke?"
Oh yeah. His voice cracking in the last.
It was that I always appreciated that, and I loved it so much because I'm just like, it makes
with that
no sense
show.
because it's like night
It's
and
like,
day.
please don't have Henry yell anything for the next 2 years.
Right.
Greetings, boys and girls. My name is Isaiah Vargas. For over 3 decades, R.L. Stine's Goosebumps has reigned as one of the best-selling book series in history, spawning a monster franchise that's lasted since 1992 and spawning a massive fan base. Folks who love to talk about this influential series, and that's where we come in. Join the Goosebumps crew, Nick Shaw, Bjorn Panelik, and myself every week as we dive into the world of Goosebumps and talk about everything from the books, TV shows, movies, video games, merchandise, and so much more. Many like-minded Goosebumps fans and a growing list of special guests join us, so if you want Goosebumps, get with the program. Tune in to the Goosebumps crew every week on YouTube and audio platforms. Become a Goosebumps crew member today. Listen with the lights on.
I will tell you this, and I talked about it in the podcast episode about Once Upon a Time. The Bo Peep storyline never should have happened. Hated it.
Now, is this like Toy Story Bo Peep or like traditional fairy tale Bo Peep?
Traditional fairy tale Bo Peep.
Okay.
No, not even that. She was like
made-
a gangster who like had a magic
Yeah.
staff.
Oh wait, now I remember. Yeah.
And it was
Okay.
like-
Yeah.
and It was like Anna and Kristoff went to go and talk to her, and like
it
and
was pretty
all
bad.
this other shit, and I'm like,
My favorite characterization on that show is Cruella de Vil. Because I really enjoyed how the entire time you think she has this like tragic backstory, and like you think that she's really sad. She's gonna have this really like they've done with every other character on that, every other villain, where it's like, oh, she's nuanced. It's not all black and white. And then at the end of it, you find out she's just crazy. Oh no, she's a psychopath. Her tragic backstory is a total lie. She's been lying the whole time. She's the bad guy. I thought that was a really fun subversion of that show. I
also
enjoyed
really loved it. My favorite character in I can't remember what season, but like Ariel, the one that plays Ariel, because I know her and I didn't recognize her until like I knew she looked it was from Reba. Yep.
Well,
That's a great show.
That's why whatchamacallit, Shameless weirds me out because
Kev,
Kevin on that show is from
Van.
Reba.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's weird. That was weird.
I mean,
that ruined
that
it.
show, if you ever want to see Goku and Bulma get it on repeatedly and consistently, that you can watch. That's a weird show.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's
I liked to kind of picture in my mind of like, oh, did you and Cheyenne like divorce or something, and now you're with
yeah,
Veronica?
you just moved it. Yeah, Van just moved to the south side of Chicago to start a new life, met Veronica, and
honestly,
and
that
now he
show
owns the bar.
Yeah,
I was
he
gonna
was a
say
bard.
it tracks. It's a good timeline too
It
because every
tracks
character
with
is
that character. Yeah.
yeah. I always found Rumpelstiltskin to be my favorite character from Once Upon a Time though, but I'm a big Robert Carlyle fan. So
He's so good.
So am I.
he's so
He's really,
good.
really good.
He's
Well, he
so
gets
good.
good until the later seasons where he becomes like he's better in the like the thing about that show is the more that show went on the more like if I had to watch him get back together with Belle one more time, I was gonna like will they, won't they? Will they or won't they? For the love of God, pick
Well,
one.
that's kind of just a good synopsis of the show. Is like they just take a storyline and take it just a little bit longer than it should
Yeah,
have gone.
exactly.
I did love the last season of like where they kind of did like an up kind of thing where like Belle like is dying and it like
Except for last
like
season.
yeah and yeah it was like
Yeah.
it was their last season of like they kind of do like an up episode where like
Mhm.
it has like the Mary what that song is it Merry Life I think it's called and like they go through like their
Oh,
life
the
together.
montage, yeah.
Yeah.
I just always kind of loved the character because I mean, I think it's at the end. Is it at the end?
Sorry.
Is it at the end of season one where they figure out that they're in a story or that they were in a storybook and all that jazz? When is that?
That's pretty much the end of the first one.
Okay, yeah. So after Rumpelstiltskin finds out too, he's still just kind of like, yeah, no, I still don't want to help you people.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the most frustrating storyline for me was the one where her and the Wicked Witch got split off, and they wanted to pretend like the Wicked Witch was like a separate personality, and it was like it just wasn't. That's just Regina. It was
Yeah.
very stupid and confused. Oh, that and the Frankenstein storyline that was also dumb.
And we all agree that Wishbone did it better.
I will say
Which
I
one did do it
met
better?
I will say though I met the guy that played Robin Hood at Comic
I'm
Con
sure he's
Oh,
probably
okay.
very nice.
Not nice. He was not very friendly.
Oh, really? Oh, fair enough.
No, he kind of just rushed us and he didn't take the time to talk.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
fair.
not defending the guy, but I've heard that about a couple of people, and I'm wondering if this is the same thing. So how long would you categorize his line that of people that he had?
Not very long.
Okay, that was my question because I'm
Yeah,
trying to
but
remember who said this. Oh, what was that, Max?
I say he wasn't Kevin Costner. He can fucking wait.
Valid. No, what I was getting at though is there was an incident. I wish I could remember who it was because actually he got some grief for a little while over it, and he finally came out and he was like, "It's not an excuse because yeah, I shouldn't have been that short with people, but what people don't know is that my people, my handlers worked so far up my ass that day because they packed my schedule way too tight, and I even said on the day of that this doesn't give me time to interact with the people, and I'm at a convention. This is not."
That sounds like an excuse.
Mhm.
Probably.
Yeah, certainly like a passing of the buck too. But yeah, I will say
Gabrielle was nicer. I met him at Comic Con too that same day, and he was nicer. He took the time. He like talked to me for like a long time actually.
See, I would think as a person as a celebrity, especially if you're not like an A-lister, you would milk that because it's an entire day of people coming up to you and being like, "You're fucking awesome. Can you please sign this for me?"
that's what I always said. I always warn my family. I'm like, hey, look, you better pray I never
He
get
hugged
famous because
me.
if I do, I'm gonna be the worst celebrity. I'm gonna stop and talk to every person for
I
as long as
know,
they want to
right?
talk to me. Um,
I'll be
and
the
it's
worst because I'll ask people. I'll just be like, "Why?
yeah.
Why do you like
You
this so
listen
much?
to
There's so
You're an
much better
asshole.
stuff out there."
right? Yeah.
Like
I'd be like, well,
Carrie
you're
always like
why?
talked to me for like 5 minutes, like not even 5, like 10 minutes. For 10 minutes he talked to me, and then he hugged me, and then kissed my cheek,
Well, we
We
know
talked
he's
to
the best Robin Hood, so
and he hugged my
He is the best.
mother.
When I talked to like Sabat, I met Chris Sabat at a convention. Me and Jordan met Sabat, and yeah, he gave the impression that we didn't want to like hold him up. There was no one in his line, and he gave the impression he would have stood there and chat. Same thing with we met Quentin Flynn, who is if you play Final Fantasy VII, he is Rude in Final, or if you play Kingdom Hearts, he is Axel. But yeah, he or Yeah, they seemed like they would have stood and talked to us all day if we wanted to. We were like, we don't want to bother you. You seem like you have stuff to do.
Funny enough, really funny enough though, Sean Maguire was not like the most bad, like the most horrible meet and greet that I've had.
Oh, who's the worst?
I've told myself I was never gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Who cares? He's never gonna come on my podcast because don't want him anyway.
Throw them under that bus.
This
Oh yeah.
birthday.
Are you guys familiar with the movie St. Elmo's Fire?
Yes.
I know it by name. I've never seen it.
And are you familiar with Ben Foster, the one that created music?
Yes. Wait. Ben Foster. I might be thinking of a different Ben Foster. I recognize the name.
He did music for Celine Dion. He did music for...
Oh, I know who Dan Foster is. Now that you say the music thing, it's an amazing producer.
He wrote songs for like Celine Dion, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he got an amazing album called Foster and Friends.
Is it Ben or David?
David Foster. David Foster.
Oh, okay.
You.
No, I do. I think I do know
Foster.
him.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay. Rewind.
He
So
produced Pumped Up Kicks, right? That's one of his.
Yep, David Foster.
I already don't like the guy.
Thank you. He did St. Elmo's Fire. He did songs for all the other people like Celine Dion, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston. So he and his wife Catherine McPhee came to Miller Auditorium, which is our theater in Michigan, and they did their show. They had a show, where they sing like songs, like where I think they like showed like it was a show where they talked about how they met and everything and their careers and stuff. And they sang songs and stuff. And so after the show, I go to stage door. Like I normally do. I usually stage door to meet people that I usher for, because I ushered that too. And I met him. I met David Foster. So he was nice. He was I could tell he wasn't feeling good, or he was drunk. Let's be honest, or he was drunk. So then I meet David Foster. I meet Catherine McPhee. Catherine McPhee didn't even give me the time of day. Basically, he just talked to me for like a second and went into the tour bus. So that was my problem with that bitch.
Damn.
Right for the jugular.
I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, fuck her.
Yeah.
So then my mom and I are leaving. We're walking toward our car, we're walking toward to go to our car, and then all of a sudden David Foster yells out, he's like, wait, and so he stops us, and he's like, hey, can I ask you a question? I was like, oh, sure, anything, yeah. I just wanted to know, were you ever bullied in school?
He asked you that?
Yes.
What a very odd question to ask a stranger.
And I told him, I was like, yeah. And he was like, and then, oh no. The first question he asked actually was, do you live a fulfilling life?
Really?
So he ran after you to ask you these questions.
Yeah.
Some ableist bullshit.
It's way more than that, but I mean that's part of the quagmire of shittiness that is this person.
Yeah.
Well, it's well known that he's extremely special, and he's always drunk. But yeah.
But I was so starstruck that David Foster was talking to me. I didn't compute it until the very next day. The very next day, I woke up and I sat up out of bed slowly after I.
Wait a minute, was David Foster just a dick to me?
Really, that son of a bitch.
I just pictured.
I literally just rose out of my bed, slowly, kind of just sitting there thinking silently for 2 minutes. I'm like, was I just offended by David Foster?
Wait, was I just bullied by David Foster?
Did I? Did that happen?
Yes, you were.
Yeah, an irony that he was like, were you bullied? Why, David Foster? Why are you asking that question?
I told my friends this
Are you
too, and
attempting to bully me?
I told my friends this too, and they were literally like, "You know what you should have said? You should have said, yeah, I am being bullied by you right now, actually."
I mean, yeah.
Actually, you should have just looked at them and being like, not until this very moment.
See, me being me, my first instinct is to look at him and be like, "No, do you want to be my first?" Just
And
make him
then-
just
and
so
then-
uncomfortable.
And then some of my friends were also like, when he asked you if you lived a fulfilling life, you should have said, "No, actually, I never leave my house."
That's so condescending.
I left my house for the first time in my life to see you. Feel bad yet?
And I literally think like he felt entitled to ask me these questions because the actual guy that St. Elmo Fires is based on, he played music for him as he was running through while the guy was like wheeling through America, like David Foster was at the finish line.
The thing is, he definitely didn't think that was a condescending thing to say. He clearly thought that like it was an empowering thing to say. If I had to guess, like there's people who like think saying things like that is nice. Like it's like when you I always hear people who are in like wheelchairs and like who are paralyzed, who are like, people will say to them, "You're so brave for getting out of the house," and like that's such a condescending thing to hear. So that's what he clearly thought that he was being like inspirational or aspirational in some capacity.
I think he's an asshole, period.
Yes,
Pretty well.
which makes him an asshole.
But
No self-awareness from David Foster.
But I just thought that was just so funny that it took me 24 hours to like finally compute what he said.
Picturing you bolting up in bed, being like, "David Foster, an asshole."
Well,
Wait,
just for they're busting my balls 8-1. I don't know if you guys been watching, but I was winning, and suddenly I get mad because David Foster, and now I'm
and now we just can't play.
David Foster, he's done one more bad thing.
It's so wild to me. Like it took me over 24 hours to have it compute in my head of like, oh,
Yeah,
he just
I've never
offended
had
me.
Well, the
I mean,
good news is the good news is that it would have taken you less than 24 minutes to realize that Hocus Pocus 2 is dog shit.
well, an hour, hour and 48 minutes.
Oh yeah, the Hocus Pocus.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it literally took me like 4 minutes.
It's okay. My ultimate summation of that movie is it's like a similar thought I have about that Freakier Friday. I'm gonna bring it full circle. Is Jordan? I brought it up earlier. Jordan always mentions the Way Too Late sequel. That's kind of what this is for me. Like I feel like maybe if this movie had come out 15 years earlier, like maybe 5 years after the first one, it like even Jordan talked about the Halloween Town movies. To me, that's what Hocus Pocus kind of reminds me of in terms of appear. Like if they had done a similar trajectory of like 2 years later or 3 years later, they managed to get Hocus Pocus 2 out, I think it would have been better received.
Come on, people! I need some support here. I'm starting a rally here. Come on, some claps. Turn your hats backwards. Something.
No.
Oh.
The frame rate on this game is not good. That I will say.
What is it, Super Nintendo? Anyway.
Yeah.
I got the idea.
But yeah, that's my thing with Hocus Pocus 2, is it came out too late. If it had come out much sooner, I feel like it probably would have been better received.
It overhyped expectations.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was the main thesis of that movie, and they play the song twice, is the witches are back. Like the whole thing you're supposed to be excited for is that you're seeing them in the costumes again, and that's either gonna work for you or it doesn't. I just don't think it's effective.
With how long it took for them to release this movie or no, like for how long it took for them to like announce that they were going to make Hocus Pocus 2, like it was like
a big break, right, between one and the other.
Yeah, it's like 30. I think would this come out 2023? So like 30 years.
30 years, and it
Like
just
that?
overhyped.
They also shat it onto Disney Plus, like they did with Disenchanted. Like Disenchanted would have made major money had that thing gone to theaters.
Okay, it's been 30 years. I know what they did it. They need to retain the rights sometimes. So they prefer that after so much long time, they
That would make
just do a
sense.
crappy thing and they give it to somebody that they own a favor. Because sometimes the negotiation is I didn't make sense before. But the reality is that if he was the first one, that it worked well, probably who direct the second one? Kenny?
Did Kenny Ortega direct the second one?
I believe so.
Did he
So
also do the second one?
Kenny agreed to do this one, right? In
Mm.
exchange of something or backwards. So that's what it could be so crappy because they just gotta do it
Wants to sell.
for national rights.
Probably right. That does make a lot of sense. That's why we have as many
You
shitty
see,
Fantastic Four
I
movies as we
matter,
do.
Haley. I know shit.
That honestly that does make a bit of sense that they're trying to hold on to those.
That is
Hold on to
fair.
those rights. Yeah, that does make sense.
But then
That's
it's
why there's so many
like-
shitty Fantastic Four movies.
But then, like I said before, like it didn't live up to the hype.
Yeah.
I think also it's an environment where it's you're just doing Disney's cranking out way too late sequel after way too late sequel in an attempt to make people stay happy with them. Like that's kind of a conciliatory kind of measure. That's kind of what this felt like. Where it was like people are pissed at us because of whatever. Let's make something that is a guaranteed hit.
Yeah, it's like to make it work no matter what, full of cliches and
Yeah.
everything.
I deleted my Disney Plus after that movie because I'm like, I'm not.
Really?
Yeah.
But Disney Plus is so useful. Had all
Well,
the Halloween movies.
I'll tell you why I'm never going to get Disney Plus again though. Because
because it's your birthday?
Because a while back some couple went to Disney World. I can't remember when this was, a couple months ago I think. And his wife like was severely like they went out to dinner and like she told the waiter like, hey, I'm allergic to like up to like some like I think it was like nut, some sort of nut or something, and she was like, so just leave those off this food and blah blah blah, and it looked like it didn't have anything for her to be allergic to, and so she ate it, and then she kept, and then all of a sudden she went into anaphylactic shock and started to have like an allergic reaction to it, and no one would help her. No one would help her, so she died.
So I have something to add to that, Haley.
Yep.
Disney has actually reversed their claim on that.
Okay.
And well, and here's the thing though, and this is, I actually heard a lawyer talking about this and I looked it up. Disney did make that claim, but the other part of their claim was that they also agreed to the terms and conditions when they used the Disney app to purchase their tickets. However, basically a lawyer said that's so incredibly stupid. That's never going to hold up in a court of law anywhere.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's like you don't waive your right to sue for negligence ever.
Right. Yeah.
You would
point.
You would waive your right to, and this is a really bad example. Max, the lawyer, he'll probably clarify and make it better. But like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to sue Disney World if, say, going Space Mountain made you ill. Like,
yeah. No, you can't, because you're right. 1 second, I don't know a lot about the case, right? But they bought the tickets through the Disney app. That's the buying and selling services. That is, even it's the same company, it's not related to whatever consume of intake of food that she took. It's like saying, I'm gonna sue Costco because the Foster chicken that I ate in another place, even it's the same brand that I bought in Costco, make me ill. It's not gonna go. I'm not gonna hold on court ever. So please come back to Disney Plus. We need you.
long story short, because I heard that that's on their fine print, that's why I got rid of Disney Plus.
I will put it to you this way. I think any legitimate judge or lawyer would look at that and just laugh in their face and say,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
see you I'll see you motherfuckers in court.
I mean, they
Hey,
did. That's why they dropped it.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, apparently Disney's statement was the situation warranted a sensitive approach to expedite a resolution for the family after they're the ones that threw the roadblock up in the first place. But I'm sure they were essentially told it's like, you guys should really just settle this. Do you really want this to be your public image? Like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you really
right.
want to go there?
They're very strange about their public image recently, where it's just like, yeah, they're doing this bad PR stuff. Like, surely some PR guy would tell you that this is a bad
We
idea.
talk about this is to bring attention. Disney is not what it used to be because there's so many distractions. Disney was important because when it was open, and you're gonna correct me on this, Haley, when the park was open, right? The
Mhm.
other competitors were failing, so it was the only one around that actually worked. Even it doesn't work in the totality. It was a studio, so they were just nailing in the right way. It was a momentum thing, but Disney was and it still is because it was the only thing in their kind. Now we have so many distractions for new generations that they need to do something different to bring their attention. We talk about this when we saw The Little Mermaid. They bring their attention to the movie, creating something different. It's a totally anti-marketing to bring attention to them because they're losing the fight because kids doesn't want to go to Disney anymore. They prefer stay in their phone playing Roblox and watching TikTok. And guess what? That's free. That doesn't cost you $200 for the mom and dad. It's extremely expensive. If you have a family of 4 and you live in North Dakota, it's gonna cost you $6,000 to spend a week, less than a week there, and that week you don't work. So it becomes
They just raised the prices though. They raised them
yeah
a lot, and they keep raising them like every
because they don't have
month.
enough demand. They don't. I used to go to the park 10 years ago, like with my pass, and it was packed. The last time that I went was last year, and it was actually empty-ish, because it's not the same. People are not going because it's too expensive, and kids when they're really young, yeah, Buzz Lightyear, Moana. But when they turn 10, it's like fuck. I just want to watch TikTok.
Tying it back to Hocus Pocus though, since they are since they are doing Villain's Land, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They better fucking put Sanderson sisters.
They
Really?
better fucking do it.
Jake, did you use the F word again?
They
They
had
better.
a
Sorry.
What
I should really learn to watch my fucking mouth.
Did that
Shut up.
is your fucking mom?
Anyway, but yeah, they better add the Sanderson sisters because they already do the Sanderson sisters Hocus Pocus show during
They had a pretty good walk around for her.
Mickey's Not So Scary.
They do. Well, they had a big push for them when the second movie came out. They were really present in the park and they really wanted to sell this movie.
Yeah.
Which nobody watched. Well, no, that's not fair because they said pretty immediately after the second one that we talked about it, but they're apparently making a third one. So we will be back to talking about Hocus Pocus 3 one day.
One day, maybe.
It'll be a straight to Disney Plus nightmare.
Yeah. And then I'll have to watch it and then delete my Disney Plus because I'm gonna be so sad.
You gotta do it like Netflix where you get the free trial and then you delete it or you unsubscribe at the end of the weekend.
Okay, guys, we're a serious company. We cannot be talking about that. I'm just gonna let you use the company Disney, Haley. That's fine. We have a company Disney that you can use. Don't worry about it.
We want to get sponsored. That's true. We want to get sponsored by this podcast. Is brought to you by Disney Plus.
Matter. I don't care. You don't matter. You're Canadian.
We still want to get subscribed. We want to get sponsored by Disney, though.
I don't think Disney Plus would ever sponsor me.
Well, not with that attitude.
I'm willing to compromise my morals for some
Do you
Disney
have
money.
any contact information about how I can ask?
I do, because Hocus Pocus was a fantastic movie, and you can watch it today on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
for the low.
And our best friends, the Disney Corporation,